Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Hiya! Mostly.
Well, we're back in the 70s.
Finally.
Thank Christ.
Because after the last movie,
I-
we had a bit of an existential crisis.
I almost lost my mind watching In the Name of the King 2.
Two worlds.
Didn't make me lose respect for Dolph Lundgren,
No, but
but man,
I was almost tempted to be like, made you lose respect for Uwe Boll, but then I remembered.
had zero respect for him anyway.
I remembered that we started with zero respect, so it's not
Why do you think we chose him to do this special showcase on?
because we know him.
Yeah, because we've both seen all of his movies. Well, not all of his movies, but
We've had experience.
We've had experience with his movies, and he's like the shittiest video game to movie director of all time.
Well, that, and we also found out that he's not just that. He's just the shittiest director in general.
Yeah, and no matter what episode we're on, we can't help but talk shit on him. So, anyway, so we're back in '78, and I guess we're just doing a lot of Bruceploitation, as of late, because we've had quite a few.
Coming up.
We've had quite a few on here, and I know, it was a big thing back in the '70s because Bruce Lee was a big deal. And he's
It's such a big deal that, this is the only person I could think of who had this kind of stuff happen.
Yeah, imitating his style and his acting, imitating his acting even that's...
Bruceploitation was a thing, where actors who kind of looked like Bruce Lee sometimes not, but they had stage names. Like this guy was Bruce. What was it? L.I.?
Bruce Lee, but L.I.
Yeah, and then there was Bruce L.E. There's just dozens of them, and it's all insanity. But again, this is the only person I know who had this kind of thing happen, where he died, and then a bunch of people.
Well, I think he's just so influential to action and martial arts movies that
People can
people
go.
just wanted to ride that train, right? And if you had any sort of Bruce Lee on your poster, or if you had an image of Bruce Lee and then name drop. I didn't even mean to do that.
Good job, boy. That was more clever than the movie.
I know. So, if you had anything to do with Bruce Lee, you were kind of more likely to get money from it, even if, of course, it didn't have Bruce Lee in it, but maybe a guy who looked like him, because Bruce Lee was ultra famous, and so when he died, there was that giant hole of who's gonna fill this giant action role.
That and he kind of died at the peak of his fame.
Now, don't get me wrong. We wouldn't have modern kung fu movies like we do without Bruce Lee.
No, we wouldn't.
So I respect his legacy so goddamn much because I love his movies. I love everything about him, except for the Bruceploitation films. But at least they're entertaining.
Obviously, maybe there's good Bruceploitation movies out there.
We haven't seen one yet.
The thing is that those aren't the kind of movies that would end up on this podcast.
They're just...
So it's possible that they exist.
Well,
but...
the ones we're watching are just kind of brain dead. They're just schlock.
They are straight up schlock.
They're action schlock.
I'm kind of in awe of just how, because we have 3 so far for 78. I would say this is the best one. It doesn't have the fucking monkey men in it like one of them did.
Yeah.
But it's still just straight up dumb writing.
Yes.
Dumb plot.
So, like I mentioned before, when I said name drop, the movie we watched tonight is The Image of Bruce Lee.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or Image of Bruce Lee. Is it
I think it's just Image.
Image of Bruce Lee.
That's another thing. All of them had his name in the title.
But don't worry, the movie in this movie it blatantly reminds you of what they're doing. So,
dude,
it's it's shameless about it.
I was not expecting that. Because that was like...
It's just like a slap in the face. Like that line in this movie is kind of like just a slap in the face, just to remind you what the fuck you're watching.
I don't know. They thought it was clever.
I guess someone did.
Someone
on their writing team was like, this is going to be the greatest line spoken in this entire movie.
Dude, imagine writing this. Imagine writing.
Well, I just wonder what the original line was, because obviously this is dubbed.
Maybe
I wonder
if
that was the original line, or they added it.
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I don't either.
I'll take what I get.
It
baby.
Probably is more insulting if that was the original line from the Chinese movie too.
That'd be amazing. It's too good to be right.
Right? They're just like, this is gold.
They struck gold with this, baby.
So yeah, let's kind of break this movie down, shall we?
This will be simple.
Oh, it's gonna be way simple. Yeah, it's not gonna be as short as In the Name of the King.
No.
Too, but it'll be pretty easy to explain because there's just a lot of fight scenes. There's so many fight scenes in this movie.
No complaints about that.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, that's not... sorry, it sounded like I was complaining. It's not a complaint because I was starving for action scenes from watching the Uwe Boll films because, my God, like...
Action scenes that last longer than 10 seconds?
I'm so glad to get back to action scenes that are, like, minutes long, not seconds long.
And... you can see them.
Well, yeah, it's the actual actors.
It's the actors, but they're not shaky.
I can appreciate that because it's still
Clean.
camera. It's still camera. There's no shaky cam. There's no like quick cuts. There's just like pure, just stupid. Like you can tell they're not hitting each other fight scenes. You know, it's like,
you know what it is? Well, it's just guys being dudes.
That's all it is. It's like something you'd watch on like a Sunday morning with like a dad.
Yeah.
With your dad, if you watch kung fu movies with your dad, like you just wake up, go watch a shitty kung fu movie with your dad. I mean, I wish I did that, but I don't. But you know, whatever. But I'm just saying, it kind of makes you nostalgic because when like you first started watching kung fu movies, that's all you got.
Yeah.
Because you watched shitty kung fu movies. I mean,
yeah.
You weren't watching like high caliber kung fu movies.
Yeah, you weren't watching. Unless you were lucky, you weren't watching Enter the Dragon.
I mean, when I watched Enter the Dragon, it blew my goddamn mind. But
you would just catch something on cable.
Yeah, right.
And it entertained you because hey, it's fine.
Exactly, it's just a quick little movie with a bunch of dudes hitting each other. That's all
it.
you need
For an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, just turn your brain off. I mean,
boy,
this one's dumb, and don't try not to pay attention to the script. But you know, whatever.
Jesus, dude, it starts. Smart.
Oh my God. So okay. So it starts with a ambulance and a fire truck arriving at a building where a guy's gonna jump off.
Because
right?
So what did he do? He stole something?
No, he accepted some like. It was something about the diamonds, like stolen diamonds. Like he made a deal for like counterfeit money. I mean, we will learn this later. So we won't have to explain this later, but why he was jumping is he traded diamonds for counterfeit money, for counterfeit bills, and he was gonna get like in trouble, and I guess he didn't want his family getting in trouble too, so he was just decided to end it.
I think he was
I don't know. Like,
I think he was just deciding to jump off the building, bridge, whatever, because like he was too ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Something. And they get there, and then they're all waiting. They have like the mat for him to jump on.
So
and then the guy's like,
he's like talking to his wife and son, and he's like, I don't want to like continue on like this and all this stuff, and like there's a huge news crew, everything's there, and then one of the police chiefs is like, we got our special unit,
special squad.
Oh sorry, this guy's a unit, but you know, it's a special squad. You're right.
He's like, where's special squad? And then like a minute later, the guy's like, special squad has arrived.
I like how he says squad, but it's literally, and I'm not shitting you, it's just Bruce Li.
It's Bruce Lee.
It's Bruce Lee climbing up a little dainty rope
slowly
up this building. They thought
in a yellow jumpsuit, like in Game of Death.
I guarantee.
Very sneaky.
I guarantee you, they thought this looked fucking awesome.
They did.
They thought this.
They thought this shot of him daintily slowly climbing up this rope was the coolest shit.
It kind of almost looks like he's struggling up the rope.
Well, it looks sad.
And you can tell there's like a harness and stuff, and like it looks so bad. It doesn't look cool. It just looks like, please stop embarrassing yourself. But no, they continue. Don't worry. They're definitely going to continue embarrassing themselves.
Well, Special Squad became Special Unit in that moment.
He is a special unit.
Because also another thing is I was thinking like, ooh, squad, like more than one. No, it's just him.
Don't worry, he gets a squad member later.
Dude, that is a unit. That is a fucking mongoloid.
Mustache mongoloid.
That is fucking
so
Charles Bronson's like brain dead brother over here. Fucking.
So he climbs up this building, and he's sneaking along, and the guy's like inching closer and closer to the edge, right?
Yeah.
So Bruce Lee is like getting up there, and he's like the guy's just about to jump off, and Bruce Lee like hugs him.
Yeah.
And then like they like struggle a little bit, and then he like tries to grab him and like
grab his arm.
I should mention, we always do this, where we have to like go back, but like we should mention that before we explain this, the jumping scene.
Everything's fine with him, right?
You can see everything's fine, like everything's moving.
All of his body parts are fine.
Specifically, his hand is fine.
It's fine.
He's waving it. He's like clenching his fists. He's doing everything.
But
Bruce Lee didn't know when they were struggling that he had a fake arm.
So he grabs on, and his fake arm detaches,
and he just dies.
Falls to his death. And Bruce Lee's just holding on to his fake arm. And yeah, that's the intro to the movie. And then it's Bruce Lee like hitting a punching bag over and over, and everyone's like
angry, and then
why are you upset? Like come practice.
Come train with us. And he gets like aggro, and they make punching noises when they throw people for some reason.
And he beats up a few of them, and they're all like, haha, good times.
Yeah. And then we get them talking about these like, so they're this is the police office. I swear to God, these movies never know how to decorate.
Fake notes.
They never know how to decorate a fucking police like office, because it doesn't look like a fucking interrogation room.
It's just like a fucking desk and a filing cabinet.
And so they're interrogating this guy because he brought a counterfeit note. They keep calling it note. It's
fake
just
notes.
Counterfeit money.
No, they call it fake notes.
That's all they call it. They can't call it money, okay?
Notes, well.
It's a fake $20 bill, but you know, whatever. It's notes.
And they're like, where did you get your American notes? And
the guy's just like, some guy gave it to me or whatever.
We have to see a flashback of this guy, and he works at like a fucking it's like a strip club, but instead of stripping, the strippers are just kind of like sitting on the stage, like lounging. Remember?
Yeah. And the guy,
the guy like gives him that as a tip.
What's weird is he's like, well, there's a tip, like you give them back all their change in coins, and so, but he didn't tip, and then he left that as a good tip, and it's just like, what?
Okay.
It's like, wait, I've never heard of any bartender giving a guy change back in coins so that he'll tip. That probably just makes someone annoyed.
Yeah, like who the fuck does that? Like, but then again, well, why the fuck would you go to a strip club where the strippers are just lounging on the stage?
I want you to think about that for a minute. Think about you're enjoying your time at a bar, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't right now, but
you can just keep 6 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're enjoying your time at a bar, and you pay for like a 10, like let's say you pay for like a $9 drink, okay? So with a $20 bill. So the bartender gives you a roll of quarters and four loose quarters back as change, and expects you to tip with that.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
It does.
I get like the whole like maybe if they explain that like.
Explain, Will?
Okay, so maybe it's lost in translation because maybe like obviously, you know, the coins in China are worth different amounts.
Yeah.
In here, so maybe he's giving them back in dollars, so he hopes that the guy tips more with the coins in dollars. I don't know. I'm breaking this down way too much. We don't need.
Bro,
to go
this
back
scene
into it.
lasts like 5 seconds.
So anyway, they're interrogating him. They get nothing from him,
And
then
then-
they bring in a blind lady.
And he's like, she's got fake notes. Interrogate her too. And then end scene.
And it's like, what is the lady gonna do?
Yeah, like,
She's blind.
okay, like some guy gave her a fake bill because she's blind. What is she gonna tell you? But it's fine. End scene. And then we get
Oh, good
Bruce
dark.
Lee or somebody,
Sneaking around at night.
and then they get into a fight, and
Well,
it's Bruce Lee.
I just love how you can literally tell nothing
Nothing.
about this scene because it's so dark you can barely comprehend what's going on the screen.
Because it's Bruce Lee and a mustache man fighting, and then like a janitor walks in on them
Yes.
and does this face of like, oh fuck, like I walked in on 2 people fucking.
Yeah, he like he walks in on them like he found them like balls deep in each other.
Yeah, and he just closes the door.
Just like oh, just like closes the door and just walks away and is never mentioned ever again.
And then like they say something to each other, and the scene just ends. And the next scene, they're in a meeting with the greatest slideshow on the planet, because the police chief is like explaining like this whole thing about fake bills and this guy that they're investigating. And it shows like they're showing his background.
Well, they're also showing how he's like international.
Yeah.
Like he goes around with these like fake notes and passes them around and like has this whole money laundering scheme worldwide.
Yeah.
But every time they show a slide, like you were mentioning, it's clearly just photoshopped.
Because here's what they do: like, they're talking about how he's in like Tokyo, London, somewhere else, and every time they're showing like the other city, it's like they took like if you type in like London on Google Images, and it just has a picture of like the London Bridge.
Well, it almost looks like what they did because it was the 70s, so they didn't really have like technology to Photoshop.
Yeah.
But it looks like what they did was take pictures of the actors, and then they took like old magazine pictures of like different places and just like cut the outline of the fucking person
And just stuck
then
it on there.
smacked it on that magazine like image of fucking
London or
city.
whatever.
But it's like it's so stupid because like
It's very obvious.
it doesn't even look like the people are like, because it's like the images in the background are nowhere where a person could be standing,
Yeah.
right? It's like in mid-air.
Yeah.
Like it looks so dumb.
Or like the London one, it's like the middle of the river. Like they would literally have to be standing on water.
Yeah, like I think one of them, it literally shows like Big Ben, like an aerial view of Big Ben behind them, and it's just like, okay,
It's fine.
He's clearly not standing there.
But also, they keep mentioning during the slideshow that all of these people that they're mentioning know kung fu.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then it shows many slides of them training in kung fu,
Yeah.
and like, for some reason they're just like, these guys definitely
They know kung fu.
they have kung fu treachery.
They do,
They-
but it's no match for stupid. Your kung fu treachery is no match for just sheer stupid.
Stupidness.
Because they're like, okay, you and you, so Bruce Lee and fucking Mustache
Mustache McGee.
are assigned to investigate.
So Mustache McGee, they're saying that there's like a woman coming in, and it's one of like the big, like worldwide people's like.
I don't even remember.
Like,
she's
cousin
supposed to
or
be
something?
related to like
She's
another
related
guy
to one of the like the bosses or whatever.
of money laundering.
Yes, and they also mentioned that there's a guy from like Tokyo, the fucking huge guy from Tokyo,
and he's looking
jacked.
for. What does he have? He's looking for plates. I don't know.
So no, he's looking for plates because he has the diamonds.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
he's like the diamond trader, and he's looking for the plates to counterfeit more money.
Yeah, he's gonna
This
exchange
is
it.
like the only plot we get. So
This is the rest of the fucking movie.
so anyway, so mustache guy,
He goes to the airport.
he goes to the airport and follows this girl, but like he is the worst. We were talking before we started recording. I swear to God, I'm not shitting you. This is probably the worst on-screen cop I have ever seen.
You have to add a caveat to that, though. This is the worst on-screen cop where he's supposed to be like
He's supposed to be good. Like he's
competent.
He's not supposed to be like a goofy, like fuck things up.
Yeah, this isn't Keystone Cops.
No.
Like he's supposed to be competent. It's not
Yes.
Police Academy.
Right. It's not supposed to be funny.
But
He is so incompetent.
because here's what happens, like the big bad, his like son or whatever, goes to the airport to pick up this woman, and they're just like waiting for her, and they're like, she's gonna wear big sunglasses. And then this woman gets off the plane, and they start playing the romance music, and she just puts on big sunglasses, and yeah. And then they leave, and Mustache McGee is tailing them, right? But he's not just tailing them, he's like riding their ass.
Yeah.
And of course they're like, okay, it's a tail. And they drop her off at her hotel, and then the guy does a circle, and then he just stops in the middle of the fucking road, and...
No, so remember what happens is, like, he's telling him right behind him. He fights a little bit at the airport, too, because, like, remember, guys, like, see him getting into his car and fight him or whatever.
I do not remember this at all.
You don't? It's such a small fight scene, but...
I remember when he gets on the fucking bridge.
So remember the woman says, like, let's get rid of this tail, because he's right fucking behind them. So
yeah.
He pulls over, lets the girl out. It wasn't at the hotel, though. It was, like, somewhere else.
No, because he lets her out, and then he, like, turns the car around, and then they drive.
And then he parks. The guy's still telling him right behind him.
Then he runs up a bridge.
Okay, yeah. We're back on track. Sorry.
Yeah. And then they fight on the bridge, and then he just gets in a fucking taxi, and Mustache McGee is just like, But
yeah, he's just like, dang it, you know, like...
I'm gonna go hang out at the fucking lobby.
In a minute, we'll get to the... Let's go to the lobby. Mustache McGee in the lobby.
Also, eventually they take the woman back to, like, their, like, mansion or whatever.
So she's gonna meet, like, the big boss wherever they are.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever explains.
It's like a mansion in the woods, but we see Bruce Lee in like a tree.
He has like a little tiny tripod and a camera, and he's taking pictures.
While they have their meeting.
And they have a meeting about the plates and everything, and how they're gonna transport them and where they're gonna put them, and like the diamond guy is there, and he's like.
Also, I just want to mention, like, because they're making the deal with the diamond guy for like how much percentage.
Right.
I just want to mention though, mid-conversation, it just cuts to Bruce Lee walking out of the woods
and getting into a fight,
and immediately getting swarmed by like 5 people.
Yep, and he like kicks all their asses,
and then it's back to the conversation.
Yes,
it's like the movie was just like, oh, you're bored? Here you go, baby. Have a little something.
So they talk more business, and then Bruce Lee is leaving because he sees the enemies leaving, and they like almost collide cars, and then there is such a long fight scene after this, because it's like everyone fighting Bruce Lee.
Everyone,
like,
yeah.
The jacked fucking like Japanese guy, the fucking
his
boss's
assistants,
son, the assistants, the fucking everyone is fighting in the scene, and it lasts for like, I shit you not, like almost like 3 to 5 minutes.
It's pretty lengthy, and
it's a lengthy fight.
It just kind of ends, and then it's nighttime, and Bruce Lee's like going into the mansion.
He's sneaking it back into the fortress because apparently he didn't get what he needed, even though everyone was fucking leaving.
Dude,
I'm not gonna try and understand.
It's because Bruce Lee needed the fucking brochure of printing presses.
Yes.
Also, he finds a fucking fucking binder.
It's a binder of a bunch of like
naked women and their hair,
and like a single strand of their hair.
And he's like, ugh, he likes women, and he likes souvenirs of them as well. Like, okay, fine. And then he looks and he sees the monthly copy of Fake Money Printing Press Quarterly.
I'm a Criminal Quarterly.
And he steals it. I wasn't sure, because like we're watching the scene and he just picks up a magazine and like stuffs it in his jacket.
It was Money Laundering for Today.
Money laundering. Money Laundering Weekly.
Good homes in money laundering.
Because you're just like, why is he stealing a magazine? And then the next scene he's like, I got a list of like printing presses.
Yeah, it's like a brochure on fucking printing presses for some reason.
It's the bad guy's bedroom material.
So now the girl goes to her hotel, and Mustache McGee is sitting in the lobby because he's apparently just supposed to track her, but he's terrible.
He's just sitting in the lobby.
So,
oh my god.
So she goes up into her room, and she's like brushing her hair in the mirror, and she sees a wiretap.
And we see Bruce Lee and another idiot assistant like listening in. and then you joked, you're like, because what she does is she rips off the wire, and you're just like, oh come on, like they're gonna have more than one like wire, and then
No,
it's literally
I was wrong. It was
you're
just
fucking
the one
wrong.
wire. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they work like this, but once you detach the wire to the ground, the wire doesn't work anymore.
It does in this universe.
The wire tap doesn't work, but she can just carry it around like it's nothing. Like,
dude, it's like a little piece of plastic with like a fucking ripped wire hanging out of it, and it's still working, still fine.
I don't know how, but she goes and calls someone, and like, oh, like, yeah, they're tapping my phone, blah blah blah, and then she goes and attaches it to the wall and flushes the toilet like a million times for no reason.
To troll them, I don't know. I originally thought she dunked the tap down the toilet and flushed it, but
no,
joke's
she just
on me.
Fucking with them the whole
She just
time.
stuck it to the wall and just kept flushing
And
the
then
toilet.
she takes a bath, and one of them is like looking lethargic, like he's imagining her taking a bath. I guess.
Yeah.
It's weird. And then she like puts it. She goes to bed and puts it next to her pillow, and she's like, "Good night, detectives."
And then the guy's like, "Good night." One of them's like daydreaming about.
Yeah.
It's just fucking. Why? And then after that, after all this, after being trolled with flushing toilets and all this shit, Bruce Lee's like, "Damn it!" Like, bro, she's been trolling you for like half an hour now.
Like, you didn't realize that she knew
She
the
knows.
tap was there?
Like, she called the.
You didn't put the tap above the fucking toilet, you idiot. Are you fucking kidding me?
She called them and she was like, "Yeah, they're tapping me." Stupid.
So then they realize that they get information that 8 printing presses have been sold from the magazine.
They knew, yeah. It had
And
names of everybody.
So they go to one of them, and apparently one of the like foreman and like a tech are dead.
So they got robbed.
Yes, they got robbed, and that's one of the big bosses, like
His printing presses.
printing presses. And we start to suspect maybe it's the Japanese
They're
guy,
thinking it's the
maybe-
Japanese
yeah,
guy and he's bullshitting everybody.
So then
We also get a quick scene of someone training at the Big Bad's like mansion or whatever, and then he like tests him by throwing these like discs.
Yeah, so the boss has these little discs, and he throws like some seeds up, and then to distract the guy, and then throws discs.
And they're like very sharp.
I don't know. It's stupid.
This scene is pointless.
So then Beefcake Japanese guy goes into the woman's like room, and they like do some kung fu flirting.
This is the weirdest scene.
Because
This is
like,
the weirdest fucking
they're like
scene.
fighting, but they're also flirting at the same time. And
Well, the way the scene starts, I was just like, oh no, because they're talking, and then he just kind of like starts being rough.
And then she starts fighting back, and
then
she
she's
starts
like
being rough.
But she's like, oh no, don't do that, ha ha, and then she'll like punch him or something, and it's just like a.
And then he picks her up a bunch of times, and then throws her on the bed, and she's like, "Look what you did!" She like opens her blouse,
And she opens her blouse, and her boob has like a bruise on
and
it.
she's like, "You bruised it," and then like it's just supposed to be like funny, I guess. It wasn't funny, but I guess that's what they were going for.
I think they thought this whole scene was funny.
They thought it
but
was hilarious.
Instead, me and you were just kind of like mouths agape.
Oh, and then like right after they're flirting, like no time wasted, they just immediately start talking about plates.
It's all business.
It's all business about like how they're gonna get the plates and like how much money they can launder with the plates. And
he tells her to like meet him at this place at this time.
So now we get a dojo. The stereo. I mean, it's a kung fu movie.
So before we get to this, I just want to mention at some point before this, there's a quick scene, pointless, of fucking Mustache McGee sitting in the lobby, and like a bunch of assistants are like, "Hey, the woman in room so and so like told us."
because she's still fucking with him.
She's like, "Yeah, she told us to bring you a blanket,
And they
so
bring
you can
her
sleep
food
here."
and stuff. They bring him food and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So she's taking care of him while he's like watching her.
While he's being the worst
So
fucking
she
cop.
knows immediately who he is and like what he's doing there. Because they just fumble into things in this
like
movie.
like the dojo scene.
So anyway, there's a dojo scene where the diamond guy, the buff guy, goes into this dojo and he's talking to the master, and they go into like the back office, and the master looks at a diamond and then puts it in a safe, and is like,
And then Bruce Lee just walks right into the dojo.
yeah. and is like, "I'm gonna arrest you." Like,
Show your identity.
show your identity, and then like he like shows his badge, and then the guys are like, "You're never gonna like get away with this and stuff."
You need a warrant, and they just start fighting.
Yep, they just start fighting, and for some reason, Bruce Lee, he doesn't realize while he's fighting all these like lackeys that the guy has gotten the briefcase back and all the tussle, and he starts running out the building.
But his assistant...
Oh my god. The assistant that's never mentioned or shown ever again after
He's
this
never
scene?
seen after this scene. And he tries to stop him, and he puts a fucking handcuff on one hand and then just gets his ass handed to him.
Yep, and rolls a bunch of times on the hill.
The funniest part is, like, he's, like, on the hill, like, sideways, right? He gets kicked once and rolls, like, no joke, like 10 times. Just, like, sideways.
So the Bruce Lee finally finishes up at the dojo, and like he tells his partner, the not mustache guy, but the guy who got his ass kicked.
Mustache guy is still at the hotel.
The guy who got his ass kicked has to arrest the dojo master and like press him for something. I don't know. And then for no reason, we get a woman derobing and just jumping in a pool.
We don't even see her derobing. It just cuts to her, like, flopping
into a pool.
because like the way...
Now we don't know who this is.
Because the way her arms are, it's like they wanted it to be like a dive. But it's like, imagine if you just, like, flopped.
Like, you didn't dive. It was like the most ungraceful dive ever because you just belly flopped into the water.
And
she swims around,
completely naked again.
gets out, puts on a robe, end scene.
And then it's her, like, shopping. And being followed by Mustache McGee, who is, like, 5 feet away.
And she even turns around, and he is the most, like...
He starts, like, rubbing his
He's
chin.
the most obvious, because he just, like, he keeps looking at her and, like, rubbing his chin and, like, looking back and, like, looking at nothing.
Of course, she knows. And then she goes into, like, a restaurant, and he just sits down. And then she just sits next to him, and they start, like, talking. I still don't understand
And
this
then
scene.
she starts, like, flirting with him and asking him, like, who he works for, I guess, or something, and, like, how he... I don't even know.
This scene makes no fucking sense.
And then she's like, I have to go to the bathroom, and then leaves the restaurant.
She says, like, I have to go to the bathroom, and then she makes a phone call to someone.
Oh, that's right.
And then she's like, hey, I have to go,
And then...
but I'll miss you. And then she kisses him, and then she goes outside and catches a cab.
Well, no, remember, before she leaves the restaurant, though, we see Bruce Lee walking out of the restaurant.
But he's been there the whole time.
Yes. So he walks out of the restaurant. I don't know how he did this so fucking quickly.
Quick.
It is fucking quick because he leaves the restaurant and literally like not even like probably like 30 seconds later she leaves the restaurant too.
Yeah.
And
she gets in a cab.
She gets in a cab and guess who's driving the cab?
Bruce Lee. And they drive.
So he takes her shopping, I guess. And so then she stops somewhere and then she gets in the front seat and starts smoking.
And then she tells him that they're going to, like, this other location. And then she's like, you look like a movie star.
Oh, God. I thought I would end at that, but no. No, they said the most
he looks
shameless line in any Bruceploitation film I've seen yet.
She told him he looks like Bruce Lee.
You should be in movies. You look like Bruce Lee.
Can I just say that, okay, like, as soon as she said, you look like a movie star, I had a bad feeling.
So in between here, we get a scene of where the buff guy goes back to the boss, and they know it's pretty much him that, like...
That he robbed them.
Because, he robbed their plates. So, the boss is like, you know, whatever, blah, 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 you're dead kind of thing, and then...
It's a long fight.
A long fight, he puts up a good fight, and then he... gets overcome and
with sticks,
beat to death by bamboo sticks.
With sticks.
So he's dead.
He did, but he dead, Will.
Yes.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce Lee drops the lady off at her destination, and then she just walks, and it's the buff guy just hanging dead.
Well, and remember, like, he takes the counterfeit bill from her because she tips him with the counterfeit. She
gives him a tip and he takes the bill, and that's how he, like... It's how he knows what he's already known for the whole movie, like...
Yeah, that they're counterfeit bills because
It's like we already know.
I don't get what twist they're trying to go with here.
Like, this accomplishes nothing.
Yes.
Other than we get a zinger of a line about how he looks like Bruce Lee. That's it.
So, I guess...
Well, she goes there and she finds the guy's dead, but everyone else is, like, there too, and they're just like, oh, you're not planning on, like, making a deal with him, are you? And she was just like, no, I just want to see if he has the plates, and they're like, okay, I'll take you home.
So now the mustache guy and the other guy are following her, I guess.
Yeah, because
they go back to this fortress and like they're like literally they leave at like the exact same time. Bruce Lee and the mustache guy. They leave.
Mustache guy's on a motorcycle.
Yeah, the exact same time, and they're like, "Hey, like they went that way. Let's follow them." I just want to reiterate that they left at the same time,
right next to each other.
So mustache guy gets there first. He parks his motorcycle and looks at the fortress where they're gonna have the final confrontation.
And sneaks in.
Right, and he sneaks in. So then Bruce Lee, we see mustache guy like sneaking over the hedges and everything, and then he gets in a fight and he gets overcome, and he gets taken prisoner.
Yeah, because I just want to mention the way he gets caught, because like it was literally like we were talking, we're just like, dude, this guy's the worst cop ever. And then literally there's a scene of the woman and like the boss's son kind of like talking and flirting, I guess.
And you can see the mustache guy like lean into frame,
and the guy's like, who's that? And then he gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then right after this is like 5 minutes, okay? Bruce Lee parks his car,
sees the guy's motorcycle, and decides to go the opposite direction.
We don't know that yet.
Up a hill.
We don't know that yet. All we see is the guy being like tied up and shit and getting his ass kicked and Bruce Lee walking through the woods.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I don't get why it's taking him so long. Like,
so he's walking through the woods and he comes down a hill and then sees the guy's motorcycle again.
5 minutes later.
So he just walked in a giant circle.
And then he sees a note on his motorcycle, which the stupid version of the movie didn't bother like adding subtitles.
Translating it or anything.
I'm guessing it just said like, you were joking, you were like, it probably says just jump over the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Because after he finds the note, then he's in the right place.
So what I don't get is...
anything?
Continuity is a thing.
No.
Okay? He parked next to the guy's motorcycle.
Yes.
And then
the fortress is very close to the road.
He parked next to the guy's motorcycle and then went in a giant circle to circle back to the guy's motorcycle.
Because here's the thing, not only is that fortress very close to the road, Bruce Lee has seen it.
He's been there.
He's been there twice. How the fuck does he not know where to go?
I don't know. I don't know what the point of that was.
But then he gets in there, fights on a roof, a bunch of guys like fall off the building and they're not dead. And then eventually gets his ass kicked.
Well, because there's like fucking like 20 dudes beating this guy up.
Yeah.
You know?
And he eventually gets caught. And then they tie him up with Mustache McGee. And then they're like,
you're not going to shoot him. No, that's far too messy.
It's too messy. I'm going to gas him.
They tell him to dig a grave and stuff like that, you know.
So they turn on...
evil guy shit.
Because they lock him in the kitchen and they just turn on the gas ovens. And that's it. And I was just like, okay. Is the woman going to be the one to rescue them? And then she's like seducing the son.
And she says he's sweaty.
And he's
so
like,
she should go take a bath before they have sex.
And he's like, okay.
So he goes take a bath, and she gets like dressed and like goes downstairs and saves
them.
The two guys. And then while untying them, says she's from Interpol.
No, my favorite part is Bruce Lee looks at her and he's like, "Who are you?"
It's like, "What's your name?"
And it's like, first of all, you know who she is. Well,
or you presume to know who she is.
But then she's like,
her alias.
I'm Interpol.
And she's like, they call me Agent 7.
Dude, that was... oh, God. But, of course, she rescues him. We get a huge fucking 20-minute long brawl.
It's like a brawl. The Bruce Lee guy is chasing the old guy. They fight a fuckload and like just bad slow-mo, bad fighting.
Oh, bad slow-mo up the wazoo, dude.
Oh my god,
I love it.
Slow-mo where none of the hits connect at all.
Yeah, they use slow-mo on like the most basic baby shit moves ever.
Like a good use of slow mo is like when like someone knows how to do something really like pretty like incredible, like when in kung fu, anyone who watches kung fu movies knows this, but like when an actor knows how to do like a really difficult stunt, right?
Yeah.
That's when you use slow mo. Like when someone's like flipping like a bunch of times, or like doing a really
something crazy
intense kick.
Yeah.
But no, this is like people missing each other, people falling off buildings.
It's just like them doing like the most basic. It reminds me of that fucking movie we watched, Black Force.
Oh God, yes.
When in the beginning they're like, slow motion has been utilized for special techniques,
well,
and
I love
see them.
It's like them jumping off like a curb.
Yeah.
Like
like wow. It's like one of our favorite movies, Hard Target, has like a lot of that slow mo stuff.
But it's really well utilized.
But there's a part when Van Damme like shoots a guy like 50 fucking times, and then he does like one of his fucking helicopter kicks and kicks a cigar out of a guy's mouth. But like that's like
one of the coolest uses of slow mo in Hard Target. And if you haven't seen Hard Target,
Please watch it.
What are you doing? If you like action movies, go watch Hard Target or any Van Damme movie.
Van
from the
Damme,
80s.
John Woo, like those two. Yeah.
So the best use of slow mo I've seen in a Van Damme movie is when that first fight when he walks in and they're all getting ready, and he basically unsheathes his fucking leg, like
a
he's
weapon.
wearing like a trench coat, and he just like throws it back, and like you just see his leg, because he's gonna fuck.
Because you know how in Western movies, the hero unsheathes their gun,
or like puts their like coat behind their gun,
shit's going down.
Yeah. He unsheathes his fucking leg.
And shit's going down.
Because Van Damme is known for fucking...
For kicking bitches.
He's a kickboxer.
And it's great. But, like, those are great uses of slow-mo. In this, it's just, like, Bruce Lee, like, the funniest one is when he gets kicked into the concrete pillar.
And it, like, slowly tips over
and he just,
and
like,
then breaks.
Stumbling.
He's just, like, fumbling around in slow-mo. It's great.
Or, like, when he, like, just... people will think you're exaggerating when you're like, oh, they use slow motion for people missing. Well, here's the thing. There's a part where the old man's like on the ground, and Bruce Lee like kind of just hops and is trying to kick him in like the face with his leg, and the guy like moves out of the way a little bit, and Bruce Lee just kind of kicks the ground. Like they use slow motion on that.
Yeah.
Was that necessary? Apparently it was.
There was also an earlier fight scene where a guy slow-mo kicked off a building. Like he was running towards Bruce Lee.
Oh yeah.
Did a flying kick. It goes to slow-mo and he just falls off the building.
He just fell. That was hilarious.
That is like why use slow-mo there?
That was fucking great. But eventually all this brawling, because it's Bruce Lee fighting the old man, and then the other mustache and the lady fighting like a bunch of henchmen.
So Bruce Lee finally gets to the beach with the old man, and they start fighting, and he starts finally getting the upper hand on the old man.
But the sun shows up.
The sun shows up and starts kicking Bruce Lee's ass, and they both start just fucking kicking Bruce Lee to the ground.
And eventually...
And the Interpol agent and the mustache guy...
Show up,
and they all have this giant fucking 5-person fight scene for another... And... Granted, there is only like 5 minutes left of the movie. Okay?
3 of those 5 minutes.
So 3 of those 5 minutes they utilize in a giant fight scene between all these main characters.
Eventually,
they kick all their asses. They find the plates.
It's all fine.
And
they're at the airport.
And then she's like,
she name drops James Bond.
Well, like I might stay here if someone would get married to me.
She's just like, and in those Bond movies, he's always, at the end, he has a babe with him. Where's my babe? And
he's like, well, which one of us do you like? And then she like, you, of course, and like twists the other guy's coat or something.
Which apparently means like, you too, I guess.
And then they're both like, okay, well, like, we'll both blah, blah, blah. And then like, they both kiss her on the cheek.
And then it ends.
Freeze frame, end.
Which, fuck you, because you were like...
I'm like, I called it.
You're like, they're going to end on a freeze frame, and then they did.
Dude, name one of these martial arts movies where they, like, just waste all the time getting to the end, where they don't end in a freeze frame, because that's all they have left.
They have to have that zinger at the end.
Well, yeah.
And they ended on the zinger for you.
They did.
And apparently...
both of them kissing, like, I guess a polyamorous relationship between these three characters. I guess.
Yes. I joke.
How progressive.
I joked about that. I was just like, dude, just have a threesome and get it over with. Like, whatever.
It's very progressive, okay?
It is.
It's 1978. You can be progressive.
It's fine. This was ahead of its time. You know, it's so progressive. It doesn't even need a fucking plot.
Don't worry. Polyamory is a thing, okay?
It is.
You know? Like,
you know? This movie, like I said, this movie is so progressive. It doesn't have a fucking plot.
No.
Or anything. But they squeeze that in at the end.
It has, like, one of the most generic-ass plots I've ever seen, and they don't even, like, go into it too much.
Dude, it's just fake money.
It's fake money and diamonds, and, like, they barely do the diamond thing, and, like, there's barely any, like, bad shit going on.
No, like, the cops aren't even that interesting or heroic.
The bad guys don't, like, kill innocent people. They do nothing. They just pass around fake 20s, and it's only, like, 3 of them.
Dude, there's only, like...
There's, like, literally, there's 3 fake bills passed out.
Well, there's only, like, 2 deaths in this movie.
Yeah, the kill count is, like, nothing.
Like...
The Goonies are the same in every single fight scene.
Yeah. Like, there's only, like, 2 people dead, and one of them killed themselves.
So this movie has, like, nothing.
But you know what? You know what it has, Will? It's not directed by Uwe Boll, and there's fight scenes every 2 minutes.
I would say if you're wanting, I don't know, if you're wanting to waste, like, I don't know, like an hour and a half just watching a dumb martial arts movie, you could do a lot worse.
You could do worse.
But, like...
But we've seen better.
But there is a lot better.
Like even from this year, from 78, like, we had Brawl Busters.
I'm sorry, nothing has beaten Brawl Busters for me yet.
That's way better than this, like...
That is, like, high tier for the 78 for our podcast.
Like, as far as bad martial arts movies go, that is the one to beat so far.
But, like, I mean, I don't know. On, like, Shitty to Pretty, I'd probably rate this around, I'd say, like, a 2 or 3. Like, it's not the worst. It's definitely not good. Like, it's kind of boring if you, like, focus too much on the plot. But the fight scenes aren't the worst thing I've ever seen. And the choreography is okay sometimes. It's kind of dumb, though. They use slow-mo way too much, and it's in wrong places. And, like, a lot of the, like, hits you can clearly see don't connect.
They don't, yeah.
And, like...
Not even close.
I will appreciate that they use the actual actors in every scene. Even the woman, like, she's clearly fighting in the scenes.
Well, that's all these movies, though.
Yeah, I know.
That's
they
the
don't
appeal.
use stunt doubles, and I think that's great, and I think that's commendable. But given the plot is like the driving force behind any movie, this just doesn't have it.
Well, the thing is that, like, obviously, a lot of these martial arts movies from this era don't have the biggest plots.
Well, no.
That's fine. But at least, you know, the good ones, the plot's, like, enough to kind of drive it.
It's like the glue that holds it all together, or why these people are fighting. At least we have a reason in a lot of these martial arts movies. At least there's a reason these people are fighting. You know who you have a clear line of who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, and sometimes that's all you need, right?
Well, that and, like, it's enough to make you care.
Right.
It's enough to be like, oh, I want the good guys to win.
Even, like, your just typical, like, revenge plot. Like, at least you know, like, you want something horrific happen, so you want the guy to, like, bring the other person to justice, or, you know, there's something going on. But this one just has such a generic, cliche bullshit plot that, like, I can't really get behind it, to be honest, because they barely cared about it.
I'd say my biggest issue with this movie is just, like... Because Shitty Pretty, I'd also probably give it a 3. I kind of leaned on 4, but I'd probably give it a 3. My biggest issue? It just doesn't have any, like, personality.
Well, it has nothing... It doesn't have, like, any cool factor, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's not any, like, really ridiculous fight scenes.
Yeah, because, like, the main characters, I don't care. They have quite literally... It is the most blank slate... It's like you know what it is? It's like a movie where they had, like, an outline. Not a script, an outline. And they were going to fill it in later, right?
Because none of the characters really have any personality.
No.
Like, they don't have any, like... even the bad guys don't have anything going on.
No, that's why I'm saying it's like a movie where they had an outline, and they were gonna fill it in later, but then they just filmed it and didn't bother filling it in. So you have like the stock hero.
Well, it's almost like it almost feels to me like, and I know they probably didn't do this, but like the plot and the characters were an afterthought. They like filmed all the action scenes, and they were like, "Oh shit! Well, we have to like, we have to fuck. Let's see. Plot here. Let's see. Shit, we only film the action scenes. Let's see. Okay, money laundering, diamonds, you know, that stuff. And
No.
then there's 2 detectives.
It's the outline. It's a movie about money laundering, and there's 2 detectives, and there's a bunch of bad guys, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna fill it in later."
But there has to be a woman. There has to be a twist at the end. Okay, the woman's an Interpol agent.
But we'll write this out later. We'll fill it in. We'll give them lines. We'll give them personalities, and then they just didn't bother.
But we got cool action scenes though. Well, and they're not even that cool. But like,
Yeah, they're all right.
they're all right. They're not. They're passable.
I've seen much worse.
I've seen a lot better though.
Yeah, even on this podcast, we've seen a lot better.
Yep.
But you know what? It's not Uwe Boll.
Nope. Which is coming up next.
Fuck him.
Yep. Thursday.
Fuck him.
We get to watch Suddenly
Yeah, let's do a remake
of a Frank Sinatra
that
movie.
no one even like likes that much, and yeah, let's have Uwe Boll do it. Great idea.
Yeah. I don't know why he chose that movie, but
We'll find out. Will.
maybe it's a saving.
Are you joking?
That's a saving grace that he chose that movie and not a more popular Frank Sinatra movie.
Yeah, imagine if he did like the Manchurian Candidate,
Oh my god.
or From Here to Eternity,
Fucking hell.
or the Man with a Golden Arm, or a Rat Pack movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus fucking Christ.
maybe they just wouldn't give him the
Be
rights.
thankful they just gave him fucking Suddenly, because they're like, well, this is like one of the most untalked about Frank Sinatra movies ever, so let's just...
I have a theory. Like, I know we'll expand
There's
more.
probably no rights to it.
Okay, because I was gonna say that because if you go on Amazon Prime, where we will be watching Suddenly, the remake, and you look up Suddenly, there's like 50 fucking versions of Suddenly, all free, which is why I'm highly leaning on the fact that no one owns the rights to it, and that's why they remade it.
Probably.
No one's gonna be like, "Oh, you can't do that."
Who else to take advantage of that than the fucking scumlord himself?
Seriously, who
Uwe
else
Boll?
would be like, "Oh, no one cares about this movie. Let's do it. Let's do a remake."
I can just throw money at this, and Ray Liotta wants to be back in a movie with me.
Yeah, Ray
For
Liotta
some
needs
reason.
he needs to pay his bills this month. So let's just do a quickie. I can't wait.
All right, before we get too much on a tangent of Uwe Boll, because you know we could talk about him for hours. Yeah, so that was image of Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
It wasn't a spitting image. It was
It was
a
something.
very trashy image of him. But
Hey, nice try. But
they certainly
quite.
tried. But we've seen better. Even Bruceploitation films, we've seen better.
yeah, I think it
So-
just shows that no amount of action can save you from the fact that you just have no
And
personality.
the name Bruce Lee can't save you from being a bad movie.
Dude, we've already learned that.
Yeah, tenfold. But yeah, thanks for listening, and
We'll be back Thursday
we'll be back Thursday with
with the
a new
shithead himself.
Yep, the Scumlord. That's what I'm
The
gonna
fuck
call him.
boy.
Yeah. And look forward to a live stream probably at the end of the month.
We had a date. Hold on. I know we had a date.
It
It
was like
was
the last Sunday of the month, wasn't it?
the 28th.
Okay, so yeah, obviously not this Sunday because we're recording a podcast, but next Sunday.
The 28th.
Yep.
We'll be back with games. Tune in.
Yep. We'll our classic ASMR, whatever you want.
Our mukbang.
Yeah, sorry, mukbang, not ASMR. I always get those
I
confused.
mean, it could be ASMR for some of you.
If we get really close to the mics, I guess.
Whisper.
That's a little weird.
It's kind of hard to do that, though, when we're having our
I don't
brains...
have a high sensitivity mic though, so
No, and also the stuff we're doing is not exactly relaxing. Not to us.
no, it's very stressful, but it's fine.
Especially when
It's
the game
entertaining, at
when the
least.
game crashes.
Yeah.
Or when you have to play as a fucking pickle. Not pickle, cucumber.
Yep, and the Say My Name egg that dies before...
Heisenberg.
Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty. Or the ending that's not an ending.
Or you play as a piece of broccoli and an onion.
Get it? Because yasai, you know what yasai means? It's vegetable in Japanese.
Yeah.
Broccoli. Broccoli Lee.
If you want to see all that and more, go to our YouTube page and subscribe. It's They Mostly Come Out at Night podcast. We upload all of our episodes here, so it's all free.
Yeah.
And our live streams are free, and you can watch whenever you want. I know they're 6 hours long, but just jump around. You know?
Dude. I do this for you people. I go through those fucking live streams, and I timestamp each shit game that we play. I do this for you.
I appreciate you doing that, but
it's not the easiest thing to do, but I will timestamp every fucking game. So if for whatever ungodly reason you need to hear us play and talk about Cucumber Blues, it's there.
Or that off-road game where we kept getting stuck on the rocks.
Off-road 4x4.
Yeah, there's so much content there, and it's all
It's all free.
All you gotta do is go subscribe, and then you can catch it whenever you want.
Yeah.
And you'll even, if you subscribe and hit that bell, you guys know how YouTube works, but
you'll get notified.
You'll get notified when we go live.
And then hey, if YouTube's your preferred platform, guess what? All the fucking podcast episodes are on there too.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, that was our pitch.
Pitch, yeah.
So
pitch complete.
Pitch complete. Thanks for listening.
Be there Sunday.
Be there. Please.
Or be square.
Come on, come hang out. Ask us questions. I don't care. Just
confess to us.
Just whatever. It doesn't matter. Watch it later. Whatever you want to do.
Oh, dude, it's there forever.
Yeah.
We're not those fucking people that live stream it and then delete it a month later.
No.
As a fuck you. No, it's.
Who cares if we say embarrassing shit?
It's yours.
Forever. I don't care.
You can download it and fucking listen to it all. It's yours. It's yours.
Anyway.
On that note.
For They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
And this has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all later.
Bye.
You look like Bruce Lee.